So we know that Microsoft is putting games on PlayStation. This isn't really much of a revelation. There's even more rumors of a lot of other games like Halo, Gears, and things like that, Starfield, Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2. So we know about all those things, right? But what about the other way around? This is one of the things that kind of cropped up. There's rumors going around that, some games that PlayStation puts out might be coming to Xbox, these type of games as a service games, because their CEO has said, switching to multiple platform releases for those. They specify PC some of the times they don't, but that has left open some people for interpretation. But now we can kind of clear up that nonsense and just kind of realize that, it's not going to happen. It's one of those things where people really desperately want Sony to be in the same situation as Microsoft. And I say people, I really mean Xbox fans, right? And I'm an Xbox fan, right? But even I don't want Sony to be in the same situation, because I feel like, it's one of the things that happens. It's such a weird amount of time, right? Like why, if you're trying to sell people your hardware, would you not have exclusives? But one of the things that people have been saying is going to happen is Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox, which has been denied multiple times. And now people even saying that game, awful looking game, Concord, coming to Xbox. Please keep that game off of Xbox. Don't bring that crap here. Anyway, there's a lot of rumors and things because they're live service games, and people think, oh, well, what happens is live service games require a lot of people to continually play the game, and you would have a bigger player pool and things like that. First of all, I will say this. A lot of people go, oh, well, people are following Phil's footsteps. They're gonna go out of their way, and and nobody's gonna buy exclusives anymore, and everybody's gonna share games. There's going to be no such thing as exclusives. I would say, what kind of la land do you live in if you think that's gonna happen, right? Like that's never happening. Okay, again, one of the things that honestly we look at and we go, okay, well, what has Phil Spencer done in the industry, and what has the industry taken up by? Well, not Game Pass. Nobody else is doing that, and people thought they would, because it turns out it's not really sustainable, and now we know. So again, Phil Spencer stopped buying DLC and time content, and people were like, now other companies won't do that either. Well, no, other companies doubled down on that. Sony doubled down on that and got a bunch of exclusive content, got a bunch of exclusive everything, DLC, whatever, betas, alphas, whatever the case may be. So when it comes down to stuff like Helldivers 2 and Concord, I don't think Concord is going to do very well in general, but Helldivers 2 has been a success. Obviously, some of the situation with the game dropping off in players, that happens. Once they come out with some content drops, kind of rebound or whatever. But right now, the way that I'm kind of looking at this, I'm just sitting there going, yeah, there's no way. And Sony themselves are not going to put their games on Xbox, and Nintendo's not going to put their games on Xbox. You're living in kind of this dream world if you think otherwise, because Sony's a hardware company, right? And not only that, let's just say we lived in a two-way street situation, right? So we have a two-way street, but guess what? There's not enough Xboxes sold to warrant that being a viable platform. There's 60 million PS5s in the world, like 23 million Xbox Series X and S's. There's not enough to really warrant that, right? They've sold, 12, 15 million copies of Helldivers 2 between PlayStation 5 and PC. You wouldn't even, I doubt you'd even get, 500,000 in sales on Xbox. Probably wouldn't cover the cost of porting it, let alone, if you wanted to advertise it or anything like that, or get extra servers and things. So yeah, I think that it's, crazy the amount that people think that just because Phil Spencer does something, that Sony's going to follow suit, or that, that means that something's going to change that way. 100% not. Recently, Herman Hulst, the head of the new co-head of PlayStation, laid out their strategy perfectly clear. You know, games that are games as a service, they're going to launch day and date on PlayStation 5 and PC to get a larger install base. You know, they're single player bangers. They're not going to launch on PC day one. It's going to be a couple of years or whatever the case may be. I personally think that's a smart move. I think that sometimes Sony makes moves that I think Microsoft looks at and wishes that they had done, right? So Microsoft does this thing that's called like Play Anywhere, where if you buy a first-party game on Xbox, you get a free version on Windows, and vice versa, right? Where Sony does it, where a lot of people, if you were a console and a PC gamer, you know, you buy the game on PlayStation 5 and then a few years later, you know, you buy it again on PC, you double dip it. Like, Sony gets that. On the Xbox side, there's none of that. You know, people just, you know, it's like they screw themselves. Same thing with, like, you know, game sales. They're not selling their games right now very well because, you know, people can, you know, people can end up buying that or whatever, and they can just play it in Game Pass. So I think that Microsoft really hurts themselves with a lot of this stuff. So I hope that changes before too long, because, you know, I would like to see Xbox become viable again. Like, it's so sad as a fan of Xbox to see them become totally not viable and totally not a platform that they used to be. You know, I honestly just think that it's just such a sad situation, you know. I don't know. Maybe you guys might feel different, though. I'm not really sure. But I would love to hear your guys' take on this. Do some of you really think that Sony's going to bring their games to Xbox because the Xbox is bringing games to PlayStation and Switch? Like, how would that even work, you know? Honestly, people just do not understand how that stuff works and how business works, obviously, if they think that that's going to happen, you know, honestly. Like, why would Nintendo ever bring they're so stringent. Nintendo, you know, they take down emulators and ROMs and all this kind of stuff, but yeah, they're going to put their stuff elsewhere. Give me a break. They won't even let you stream that stuff on Twitch or, you know, show gameplay of their games on YouTube. You know, that's why I don't do it. You know, for PlayStation, I get it. Bungie had a stipulation that they couldn't be bought out unless they were able to remain multi-plat. That was a different situation. Same thing with MLB The Show, where Major League Baseball really came out there and said, hey, we're going to give the license to EA unless you guys want to start putting the game on, you know, other places as well. It's not like Sony was like, hey, let's go do this. You know, maybe they reap some rewards or some benefits, but, you know, again, they have a console to sell. You know, it kind of is what it is. You need exclusive console stuff to sell your console, you know, so games sell consoles. It's the way it's always been. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.